AI can help you navigate the tricky world of culture, etiquette, and safety in a new and foreign country. Hi, we are B&R from Jane Sees the World, and in this video, we talk about how we leaned on Claude AI to help us prepare for 2 weeks in Chile, and we highly recommend you do the same. Hi, R.
Hello.
So when we were in Chile, did we receive any kisses on the right cheek?
The only time I think we did was the kind gentleman who returned my phone to me. We definitely got hugs, and I'm pretty sure we got kisses too.
Yes, yes, we did. And I was pretty excited to get that kiss, not because I
Just in general, it's
wanted the
always
kiss. Well, yes, I mean, single AF over here. But when I had read that that was a cultural custom or way that folks greet one another in Chile, I had a thought of, well, that probably won't happen while I'm there. And so when it did happen, I was very excited. In preparation for this trip, I asked Claude AI, what should I know about local customs, tipping, or etiquette in Chile? You can find that prompt in the video description below. From that prompt, I learned that Chileans are, quote, tend to be more tactile in social interactions, often greeting with a single kiss on the right cheek, even in business settings. That is what planning and preparation is all about, and what AI can help you do is navigate these situations that are very different than what we might experience at home. Now let's chat about tipping, because this is very different in every country. So,
Mhm.
what was the tipping situation in Chile?
You're right. Tipping is always super stressful. So it always ends up where we're at the first restaurant, we're like, oh crap, what do we do in this country? So you have to pull up your phone and search for the etiquette. But in this one, I believe it was you had to make sure that it wasn't already included in the tab, and most of the time it was. And so you didn't have to add any on top of that. They did seem like when they gave you your check and it was included and you just gave them the amount of money, they were like, "Oh, thank you." So I think it's kind of a reverse thing where they like put it on there, but then they'll take it off if you don't want them to. So they were happy to receive the full amount in the bill that they got. And it really simplified things, makes everything easier if
It
they just
really,
tell you how much to give them.
it really did. It was nice going into a new country already armed with that information. So Claude AI had said, here's what it will look like on the bill. It's generally around 10%. If this is not included in the bill, go ahead and offer up 10%. So being armed with that information sure made that first restaurant visit a lot less stressful.
Mhm.
So when we were in Chile, we learned from some locals on one of the tours that we were going on that the locals don't really eat dinner the same way we do. They have a word. What is 11? Was it once? Once?
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, sitting down for dinner is not a typical thing. And I will say this is where AI failed us just a little bit. There was no mention of this anywhere in the research that I did. It wasn't until we were talking to the locals that we learned this. It didn't stop us from eating dinner, and it didn't stop restaurants from being open for the tourists. It didn't really impact anything that we did or any decisions we made, but don't rely entirely on AI for every little bit of your information or your knowledge on a country. It's a great basic guide, but it's not going to get everything right.
The one thing that I do remember and that is different than the US also is that nobody is rushing you to do anything. When you sit down at a restaurant, you are there for the experience. And so everything comes out when it comes out, and then nobody's going to come and bring you your check when you know it looks like you've put your fork down. You have to ask for the check because it's just a different way. Here we're always like, okay, I'm in, I ate, let me get out of here. But there it's no, you're there to enjoy the experience.
Yes, if you want to eat quickly, you need to go get an empanada somewhere. That's really your option. Because if you go into a restaurant, expect to slow down a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Let your
Mhm.
food digest. Okay, now let's talk about a pretty important part of travel, at least for women, and that is safety. So, how safe did you feel in Chile? Are
I would say 90% of the time I felt perfectly safe. And I mean, we don't go out clubbing at 3 a.m. So I think that takes out like the biggest threat to women when they travel. But if you're old and boring, then you're tucked in nicely into the hotel room by the time it's dark outside. The one time that was a little bit dicey was when we went to Valparaiso and we were attempting to find a certain hill. There are all sorts of hills in that town. And so we were trying to locate one and ended up off the beaten path. And you could tell it was off the beaten path. It got a little
It
bit
never,
sketchier.
it never smells good in those places.
Cat cat urine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were heading up a hill and got to the top, and there were some men that were gathered around, and they were trying to talk to us. And usually in that situation, you just ignore them. You don't even look at them, you just keep going on your way. But these guys were trying to keep us safe. So they were trying to tell us, like, don't continue up that hill that you are currently going. That's a bad hill. You got to come back here and go down this little thing and then go up to the next one. So that was nice that they wanted to help us out.
Absolutely.
We are in the funicular. Just got lost on a random hill. Three men told us that's not safe and sent us down this one instead.
I used this prompt in Claude AI, which is also in the video description. How are women typically treated in the local culture in Chile? Should female travelers be aware of any situations or areas? That was a very general prompt, and I got a general answer, which did state that in general, women are safe in Chile, and I would say that's how we felt. I imagine a better prompt or search would be on each of the areas that we went to. So we might have gotten some additional information on Valparaiso if we had done narrowed the search for that area, which is
Yeah.
always a good idea. We've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
AI thrives in
Specific.
specifics.
I think another thing you could also look for is, doing certain activities. That would probably narrow it down for you also. So if you do want the club scene, then just, put that in there and see what some of the recommendations are. Might be, make sure your Uber is ready or whatever, your taxi is ready to go right when you are, that sort of thing.
Yeah, side note, Uber is illegal in Chile. It doesn't stop anyone from using it though. Yeah. Both of the prompts that I mentioned can be found in our AI companion guide that we've put together for travel planning. It's full of heaps of prompts that help and should help make your travel planning just a little bit easier. All you have to do is go to the link in the bio and sign up for our newsletter. And we promise not to spam you. When it comes to safety, you cannot be over prepared. The sad truth is that women have to be especially careful when we are out there exploring. AI is not a solution to all of our safety concerns, but tools like Claude AI can help us be more prepared and therefore more safe on our journeys.
Hola. Hola. We are in Sky Costanera, which is the tallest building in Central South America, they tell us. We are up high. You can see there's nothing between us and the ceiling. Just real high over the city. Pretty smoggy, which I think is normal for this area.
Sounds like it comes in every day, so.
Kissing, tipping, safety, navigating these confidently or semi confidently while traveling will make your trip that much more enjoyable. And Claude AI can help. A few prompts, and you will be a more informed traveler, which benefits you and it benefits the country you are trying to visit. So it's a win win. Have you used AI to research culture, etiquette, and safety prior to a trip? What was your experience? We would love to learn how AI is making your travel planning easier or better. And in the meantime, we will continue to try it out ourselves and let you know how it goes. Happy adventures!